Hello and welcome to another 3-minute devotional. Now, I've got a question for you today. Have you ever been to a sports game, like a baseball game or a football game? Or better yet, have you ever been to the movies? Or have you ever been to an opera or a play? Or how about this? You ever been to a concert where there's a live band on the stage and everybody's really excited to be there? Now, if you've raised your hand, I'm sorry, I can't tell. But if you're like me and you have been to one of those things, then you'll know that seating is really important. Where you're set in the auditorium really matters because it changes the perspective of what you get to see happening on the stage. There's a commercial that came out not too long ago, these two guys talking, and they're in the bleachers heading to their seat, and the guys are like, man, I can't believe you got the price on these tickets. It's such a good price. And they get to their seats and they sit down, and there's a giant pole right between them and the field. They learned very quickly why the seats were so cheap, because their perspective was skewed by what was right in front of them. Now today, I actually want to share with you one of my all-time favorite stories from Jesus' ministry when he was here on earth. It's found in Luke chapter 19, and is the story of Zacchaeus. Now Zacchaeus is known for his stature, or lack thereof. He was a really short guy. As a matter of fact, an old school kid song calls him a wee little man. The guy was short. But he was also known because he was the chief tax collector. And he was not a very good guy. He lied and he cheated and he stole money from lots of people. But he heard that Jesus was coming to town and he wanted to see Jesus. But because he was so short, he couldn't see him over the crowds. So he ran ahead of the crowds, found a tree, and climbed the tree so that he could see Jesus. Now, much to his surprise, Jesus walked straight to him and called him out of the tree, said, Zacchaeus, come out of that tree. I'm going to your house today. And when you finish reading that story, which I highly recommend, it's only 10 verses, you'll see that Zacchaeus' life was radically changed because Jesus called him out of that tree. Now, in this story, we see something similar to what we talked about before. The position matters when you're at the movies or when you're at a game. The position really mattered to those two guys. They got the good seats, and all of a sudden there's that pillar right in front of them. They couldn't see what was going on. Sometimes there's things in our life that get between us and where we want to be. There's things that get between us and the Lord. And what we have to do is find our tree. We have to get above the noise. We have to get away from the crowd so that we can see what we need to see, so we can have an encounter with Jesus. But sometimes we allow too much stuff between us and him. That could be movies, that could be Netflix, that could be Facebook, that could be the news. It could be the people that you're hanging out with. Now for me, what I do in those moments where I know that I need to be somewhere that I'm not at, or if I have too much stuff between me and the Lord, I set some dedicated time aside to spend time with the Lord so that I can hear his voice, so that I can see what he's doing in my life without any of the distractions or the noise. So today, the question that I have for you is this: what are the things that are getting between you and the Lord? And what kind of tree do you need to climb to get yourself right again with him? It could be taking 5 extra minutes a day, just reading your word and spending time with him in prayer. It could be even more drastic. It could mean that you need to cut out some of that Netflix you've been watching so that you can refocus on him. Whatever that may be today, I highly encourage you, seek him and you will find him because he is seeking you. Thank you so much for joining me for today's devotional. Until next time, be blessed.